Howdy, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. It's LiquidOtacon, and we're just going to work on another level development stream here. That was the soundtrack to The Thing playing in the background for my the intro there. And for the actual work today, we're going to be working a little bit on rooftops here, at least to start off with. And then I think we might go back and tweak some things with study as well. So yesterday I was doing some work on here, and we'll actually go ahead and load into the game to show you some of that. So what I've been working on is setting up the difficulty settings. So right now the first quarter of the map up to this gate is already set up, and how I have it set is on the hardest difficulty. And right now I've only been worrying, I guess I shouldn't say the hardest, I've only been worrying about what is it, come get some, not damn I'm good, because I don't think we've really decided what we're going to do with damn I'm good yet. So at least on difficulties 2 and 3, as they're referred to in the game, there are snipers replaced with some of the EDF, and then that are up on the high points. And then on normal, just a normal EDF soldier with an M16 is there. And then I've also went ahead and changed some of the encounters in hard so that these EDF now have shotguns instead of having pistols or M16s before. At least some of them. The ones that are in the get you confined into the corridor, because I felt like what better for a corridor fight than the enemy to have a shotgun. I will say that it's a little difficult on hard. We'll go ahead and start on hard. But I did beat it my first try, so I don't think it's too bad.
All right, well, let's see.
Go ahead and turn down some of this.
Obviously, you're going to nail it on stream first time.
First time, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But of course.
Alright.
Snipers on rooftop, huh?
Yeah, it was originally, it seems like they were intended to be here all along, as they were referenced as such.
Okay.
It was the first shotgunner. He was a chump. Oof, this one not so much. Come on. Ooh.
Jeez, you guys added in a lot more stuff last I checked.
Oh, as far as things to pick up and stuff like that too?
Yeah.
Why didn't the lightning go off?
Very, it's fussy. It sometimes it goes off, sometimes it doesn't, and it's just I don't know if it is related to how many times, how fast you're moving forward or not. Oh, that's really nasty. That sniper there. Oh.
Oh, that's how far behind you guys are. Okay. This one's even worse, the one I'm coming across right now, which I guess you'll see in a minute here or two.
Yeah.
It's... Oh! In fact, it got me. I shouldn't have said anything.
You fool!
Yep. Think that.
Dude, this one, honestly, this is the only one I've debated even moving, the one that just took me out, because it's just such a short distance that the AI is just too good and too accurate with how close it is.
Yeah.
When they gang up on you in study, they can really just wreck you from 100 to 0 real quick.
Oh man, I just changed that encounter a little bit too, so that'll be fun.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ben, how dramatic the deaths are. This is from that.
Whoa.
As much as I love ragdolls and physics and stuff, there was a artistic elegance to the pre-canned animations and how good they can look and things like that. I think the animations in this game are across the board really damn good for the time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and it's
So it,
because they have individual animations for like all kinds of different properties in the game files. So it's like, am I being shot by an M16? Am I being shot by a pistol? You know what I mean? Am I
yeah,
being shot by a
yeah.
Yeah.
shotgun? Like, oh, oh, you can see me from
Evening,
over here.
gentlemen.
That's brutal.
Evening, gentlemen.
Howdy.
Yo.
Hello.
Oh,
Um, the animations are just beautiful across the board.
Oh
The
yeah.
Yeah.
only one that really can really throw down at this time was Shenmue.
no talking. Beast mode.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to think what else around 2001. I mean, like you had like Soldier of Fortune.
Soldier of Fortune had some absolutely amazing death animations.
Oh yeah, like to the point where I've actually talked with one of the developers on this, but like that whole gore system was apparently like a performance nightmare when they were making it, and they were like actively trying to be like, listen, we need to like rip this thing out, or this game is going to run like absolute dog shit. And the developer of the gore system was like, God, what was it? They were like really high up in the company, and they like demanded they keep it in, and so they shipped with it, and it was mostly fine, except if you look at the console ports, how much they had to pare back things to accommodate that gore system. Because like that Dreamcast port in particular, like 2 minute long load times, and the maps are cut up so much, like it is brutal.
It's kind of ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that guy works at Epic now. I want to say this was well, I say this is when I was talking to Rich Whitehouse, I think, who's now working on that really cool looking Atari compilation. Motherfucker went from working at Raven to working on Atari Jaguar emulation. Like, you gotta love it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was it. That was it on hard. Two snipers. Like I said, I
Okay.
just went beast mode, didn't talk, got it done.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah. Otherwise, it's still the same from here.
Okay.
I'm working on getting the subtitles implemented here.
hmm
That was also something I was working on last time.
So,
Yeah.
how did the subtitle system work? Like, on an engineering level, would you be able to like explain how that works? I'm really curious.
Yeah, as much of it as I understand. So basically, in the Bikini Atoll update, you can all check this out if you have it downloaded. If you don't, feel free to check out our. Oh, that's why it doesn't work. Feel free to check out our Bikini Atoll update available on ModDB. But in your systems folder, you will have an INT file called level messages. And if you open it up, you can see the dialogue that has been at least translated into this so far. And so let me see if I can actually share this a little bit with you guys so you can just see what I'm talking about instead of having to have it downloaded. If I do this and then move this out of the way. There you go. So you have your level messages INT file here, and you'll see it references the level here. So this is for a studio. So Z1L1 underscore 1 dot level info. And then this has a bunch of that. And this has, the entire script for the first level. And then same thing here. Z1014 is rooftops. And so this is actually why it wasn't working, because I accidentally had this under study, which will do it.
Oh, okay.
But so basically, if I go back here, what this is looking for is if I take Old Man Scene 1A and copy that, then go to Edit, search for actors, put in the tag Old Man Scene 1, I get Special Event 11. So I created Special Event 11, and what Special Event 11 does is its tag is what it's looking for, and then I set the special event to a display message because that's actually what the subtitles in quotation marks are looking for. It's looking for that display message, and then that message is this. And so this matches what is in my messages int file. And then when it's all in the right spot, now that it is, and I have this saved, boom. If I open this back up, and it's my understanding that, I don't know if it does just yet, but it is designed in a way to support multiple languages. So that is also something we are definitely looking into. Here we go. So if I just pop into here really quick, and then you can see the subtitles pop up at the bottom.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, there you have it.
That's pretty easy to like to edit. So like if Shremble also wanted to do like, because like obviously we can't do localizations of every language, but like if someone wanted to localize the game, or if a team of people want to localize the game, it seems like a pretty easy way to do it is just through that subtitle feature.
Yep.
That's really
And
cool.
I think there already might be one in Portuguese. I'm not
Okay,
100%
awesome.
on that in the files. I think there is something like that though.
My
The
friend,
only thing it makes tricky is making subtitles for like the Easy Vend,
mm-hmm.
because this is baked into the Easy Vend itself.
Okay.
So yeah, it gets a little more complicated to do stuff like that. But anything that there's a special event for, or that can be made into a special event like that, like if I open up Studio really quick.
My friend Louise will be thrilled to hear that there's a Portuguese localization in progress.
And then if I go to here, so of course he has that, but then this button in the game, it plays a sound when you press it, so it has to have a special event. So because it has a special event, if I press it, button clicks. Same thing here, button clicks, and the elevator begins to move because that also had like a special event. So I'm able to do stuff like that in some cases, but like I said, it has to have that.
Also, there was me there for a second. My Barney Calhoun impression is very excellent.
Oh yeah, I
Gordon.
should make sure I do this so you guys get back to Ducat here. But yeah, so that is the subtitle system in a nutshell.
Cool. That's really cool.
It's actually something I've also been working on a bit. I finished all the subtitles for the first level, since we have all the interview in and all the voice lines in and stuff like that. And then I last night when I was working on the encounters, I got distracted working on the subtitling. Super important stuff, Oh, I guess I should also
Really
show you
naturally.
guys just to, show it off. So, we had the snipers and stuff like that on normal, or on hard rather. We switched to, that's the wrong map. We switched to piece to cake though. And now, these dudes have pistols, like they do originally. No sniper. These guys just have pistols. Same thing like here. These guys charge me with pistols. There's no sniper up there anymore.
Yeah.
And then We pop into Let's Rock.
Looks like Lady Luck just gave you the finger.
There's an M16 guy up there now.
Okay.
I think these guys. Well, they still have
Yes,
pistols.
Granddad.
There's an
I think.
M16 guy up there.
Yeah. I think Let's Rock is supposed to be our normal.
Yes, Let's Rock is
Nothing
normal,
yet.
Yeah.
as it was in 3D.
Yep. Then I guess you can look at Damn I'm Good as kind of our ultra violence.
Remember, kids, I'm a
Yeah, we just don't exactly know what we're doing with that yet. If we're because respawning enemies, I don't know.
Yeah,
Me
I think
personally, I
respawning
don't find it to be fun.
enemies. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of the same wavelength. Like, I like playing UV fast when I play Doom, but like the respawning monsters element of Nightmares is like,
Yeah.
for me.
What if we just pulled the Chad move and just made it so that each difficulty just adds more enemies instead of respawning ones?
Well, that is kind of what I've done here to some degree.
Yeah.
I've changed
Well,
up their attacking types and
yeah.
added a couple more enemies or removed some. And so I'm actually going to stream my second monitor so I can actually show you guys some of the stuff that I haven't been able to show you over the last couple streams, like all these properties and stuff.
Cool. Okay.
So how these difficulty things are set up is basically you have creature factories, and creature factories dictate what comes out of spawn points. And they have matching info here. So
Hmm.
Crane Battle Sniper is the tag of this creature factory. It associates with the spawn point. That's simple. And then if we expand to this, this shows what's spawning. It's an EDF sniper. There's one of them spawning at this interval. And then if I switch over to this guy here, it spawns a SWAT instead.
Yeah.
And then my filter here dictates what difficulty they spawn on. So
Cool. And yeah, Seven Granddad. There's both enemy placement and AI differences as far as I know.
yep, yeah, all of that. While I haven't actually tweaked a lot of that here per se.
Yeah.
A lot of that can be changed with like these cover spots and stuff like that. Maybe for the easiest difficulty, I would remove the cover spots from the AI so they wouldn't necessarily automatically think where to draw the cover from, and so then they
Hmm.
would just like kind of more run at the player or something like that.
Okay. Interesting.
Plus, now it doesn't just look like I'm just randomly moving my mouse around like it does sometimes. Now you can actually see that I'm changing properties. So, like here. Oh, I already did that. Thank you. Thank you, yesterday me. So we'll duplicate this, kind of put it alongside of it. Call it welding sniping crew. Disable it on those difficulties and enable it on this. And I already decided that basically one of the things on normal is I'm just not going to put enemies above you here. You know what I mean? We'll save that like lesson for another level or something like that. Because this is also technically the first time you see real combat in the game. So
Yeah. I was curious about that. Has the team like thought about like are they going to like have a narrative reveal for like the EDF getting infected, or is it the planned path is going to be like go from the penthouse B to rooftops and you just see the EDF infected? Like, are we going to build to that or
yes, there will be
okay,
some. There will
cool,
be some more build to that. There's
cool,
definitely something we've talked about. Um,
Say no more then.
Hopefully, yep, yeah. Hopefully, our playtesters should see some of that soon.
Ooh, okay.
Can we
Fun.
kill Civi 11?
What was that?
What's that?
Can we absolutely fry Civi 11 by having an enemy put on both corners, just as you turn the corner, just to give him the gears?
Uh,
It's a
Because
fun
that's a
bit.
definite early 2000s jerk move.
yeah. Maybe on hard difficulties.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe you can fight Civi 11 yourself.
Hey, hey, far as he's going, I ain't saving him yet.
Okay, so these ones are the ones that spawn back here. This is the sniper that spawns after you get through that part of the level. These guys, welding crew. See, you get rushed by 3 dudes when they rappel in, so I don't think that's them. But I don't see their thing factory. Unless they're... Let's see. So they're called maintenance ambush. So let's just do a search for actors. Okay, creature factory. There it is. Oh, it's this. That doesn't make sense. This only says 2. Yeah, that's those guys. Okay, so it's literally just these. Ooh. Okay, so I have to find the trigger for this. Oh. Hmm. I guess maybe this is just a timed event based off of when they weld the door.
It's an interesting way of setting it up.
My guess is it's because of the way welding the door works. Does it have hmm. Alright, anyways. What I'm pretty sure we need to modify is these up here. So for hard, these guys definitely need something different. Right now they come down with pistols, and that is just weak.
Trash.
Yeah.
Shotguns.
Yep, shotguns is exactly what I
Yep.
was thinking. And then I
Yep.
think on normal they'll come down with M16s, and then on easy they'll come down with pistols.
Of course,
I
have a
got an
mix. Have
even
one guy with
uglier
a.
idea for you.
Sorry, what was that?
I got an even uglier idea for you.
Let's hear it.
How about two with shotguns and a Terminator?
Nah, we're not.
Yeah.
I like it, but the Terminator reveal in Casino is so big that I'd hate to take it away
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah.
I know, but you gotta admit that would be an absolute
Oh,
jerk and a half move.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a super dick move for sure.
That would be mean as hell.
Yeah, no, that is a good idea for sure.
It's like having a Battle Lord in the fucking movie theater at E1L1 and Duke 3.
Oh. Oh, that'd be bad.
Right?
You know,
Um,
would it be harder if one of these guys was an M16 guy? That way you've got to deal with 2 guys rushing at you with the shotguns and one guy trying to shoot at you from afar with the M16.
that'd be pretty fucking mean. Because the M16 can just absolutely melt you, and then the shotgun just like is devastating at close range. Obviously.
Right.
How about a snapper and a shotgun and a M16?
What do the sappers do again?
Toss grenades.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I don't know. I think we're going to incorporate them later. So
Okay.
with the roster that we have, we want to make sure that we're kind of sprinkling in the enemies as the player goes along. And even though, I mean, because like in normal, the player isn't going to encounter snipers until like
Mhm.
Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah.
But here on hard, they encounter them on rooftops because it's supposed to be hard, right? And also because they are labeled as snipers. Now, whether that's just because they're sniping points or not is a good question, or could be debated, but yeah. Okay, so we take these, and now we go to our filter, we turn them off for easy and normal, and we take their event name, event ambush, and then, excuse me, we duplicate them. And we're going to put them basically right on top of each other because they're supposed to be like rappelling down, right? So we're going to have to, oh, come on. All right, well, we'll leave them off center for now just so we can tweak them at least. We'll turn them off for these, turn them on for normal. And then, so, hmm. I guess we'll just do all M16s.
Yeah.
For normal.
Yeah, I don't know if that's hard. Because I think just all M16s is harder than.
Yeah. I think normal. I think maybe one guy with a pistol. I don't know.
Yeah, that's honestly what I was debating too.
Yeah. 'Cause I think three M16s could like completely destroy you in like kind of a bullshit way that maybe like a normal player wouldn't be like ready for at this point.
That's fair.
You have to
But also,
remember that
sorry. Go ahead.
one has to remember that if you walk in there the first time, you wouldn't know that they're dropping in, let
Yep.
alone how many of them.
Yep.
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 So having three M16s, just surprise, bitch.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fucking hit F9 immediately.
Honestly, I fear that the snipers are going to be that way as well on hard. But we'll see
Yeah.
how it turns out. What
Yeah.
people
I
think.
mean, that's our job.
Okay, so we place those right on top. Made sure that their event name is right, and it is. And now I'm going to take it, and we're going to duplicate them again. And we'll go ahead and move them a bit.
Is it fair to say that Duke is a glass cannon in terms of his gameplay style?
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you can beef yourself up like with ego. Like if you just like
Yeah.
rip through levels, especially something like Dark Hotel or honestly even this one, if you can catch them fast enough, you can just really boost your health with the ego.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, like you guys said before, three dudes with M16s, then all of a sudden your health's melted.
Yep. Even with the tweaks that we've done.
Right. Okay, so then an easy. We're going to give the dude in the middle, I think, an M16 and give everybody else pistols.
The damage of M16 soldiers has been tweaked.
Yep.
If you're grouped up, they can still like completely fucking disintegrate you. But they're a lot less lethal by themselves now. You have more of a fighting chance.
And honestly, that was done because, even in like our playtesting of the game and stuff like that, we just found that they were just a lot.
Yeah, they're ruthless.
Yeah. So now we take all these.
Oh,
Eh,
holy shit. James Gunn is now at the top of DC Studios. Huh. That's interesting. I say that because I've been over here dreaming of him taking over the Duke Nukem movie because I think he'd be a fantastic fit. But that throws a wrench in the gears, so to speak.
Okay, now all
Yeah,
those are all set up.
the EDF is very similar to the Hiku, for absolutely.
Okay.
HECU, Hiku, whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd say that, Granddad. I mean, let's be real. Like DNF 2001 is absolutely a response to Half Life. I mean, that's why I would love to see a 98 build because I want to see what they were building before Half Life scared them really bad. But this here, I think this would have been a very much like this would be kind of at nose with Half Life, so to speak.
Yeah, this would have been rad as hell.
Yeah, it would have been fucking great.
One has to remember that the original Duke Nukem 3D was meant to go toe to toe with not Quake, but the original Doom.
Absolutely.
So to see them try to do the exact same with Half Life doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and also consider that Duke 3D was inspiration on Half Life itself. So like there's this weird incestuous relationship between the two. But I mean that's the video games industry, right?
Yeah.
So I just changed this to EDF.
The game industry, the only place where I can see any artist going, that's interesting, and yoink.
Well, I mean, like, consider Montreal, right? I mean, like, if you look at Montreal, where all the game studios are situated, they're literally all across the street from each other. So I used to speak to someone who worked at Montreal Game Studios, and they told me like, yeah, no, when a project finished, we literally just went across the street and got recruited to another project. And also, like that, doing that was the best way of getting a raise because that's how like the industry works. Is you constantly are getting raises by people re-recruiting you because like, oh, come back to us.
Not just Montreal, but also Vancouver as well.
Oh yeah, Vancouver, absolutely. Um, Santa Monica, big one too. That was decent. Yeah, probably Granddad. That's probably why there's a lot of fan art of those two hanging out. Duke and Gordon just chilling. I remember it was Mark Laidlaw who said that like it was a real challenge for to like kind of sell the team on Gordon being a silent protagonist in the face of Duke Nukem because there were people at Valve who were like, no, he should be have one-liners and shit because that's what makes Duke Nukem really popular. And like it was actually quite a challenge to like get people to all agree on that. So
It would have been a completely different game.
it really, really would have.
I'm
Yeah.
just trying to picture Gordon Freeman of all people making one-liners.
So
Just like
Yeah, right. Like weird science references and stuff, you know?
exactly.
remember Alpha Gordon though?
Oh yes, the space biker.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ivan
yeah,
the
yeah.
Space Biker. I think Ivan the Space Biker would do one-liners.
Oh yeah, he's definitely the guy to do that. Like the
Yeah,
appearance alone.
exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's still hard for me to even think of him as a space biker. He looks like something akin to a malformed gorilla that we then wrap in armor and then send him towards the enemy.
Yeah,
Hey, come on
basically.
now. Hey, come on now. Listen. His armor is cool. Okay, Ivan is cool.
He's a cool dude. He's my friend.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's not the type I want to find in a back alley, though.
I mean, even though
No.
his head is angular, I don't care.
Yeah, this thing of Ross Scott's voice for sure.
Oh yeah.
Half-Life Alpha looks much more sci-fi tech-based like. Yeah, the Half-Life Alpha was like it's so interesting. There's
I
a
have not
mod
checked that out.
being done to finish it. It's really weird. It feels so much more like Quake in like ways you're not ready for.
Oh, I've seen footage of it, and I do know
Yeah,
what you mean by it feeling like Quake, even just from that.
yeah. It's very similar to the Daikatana Alpha. Have you ever played that?
Nope.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like both of them have a very well, Daikatana's movement feels different, but like they both feel very much like Quake. And I bet you money that the Duke 3D like Quake 1 version, which I think Terminex in Duke 4 said that like they never even got the source code for it, so it's like a Quake C mod, probably feels very similar. Still would love to see that build though.
Oh, the original beta and shit was for Half-Life. I kind of got the feeling that they tried to go for a more cosmic horror vibe because with the earlier enemies like Mr. Friendly, Kingpin,
Oh yeah.
a whole bunch of stuff, they were going for this much more like definitely horror focused kind of monster
Yeah.
design. So it just kind of makes me wonder, like, were they trying to go for more of a cosmic horror story than originally planned? Because the monster design in the original Half-Life beta was frankly fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it was very weird shit. I mean, Mr. Friendly in particular, like, holy shit, like,
Mr. Friendly, it looks like he comes from a Silent Hill game.
in
I don't
more
mean like the
ways than
later ones. I
one.
mean the
Yeah,
first one.
yeah, in more ways than one.
Mind
Yeah.
you, DNF, the later iterations, also look like something out of a nightmare. For in terms of enemy designs, have you seen the pig boss?
Oh yeah, with the tentacles coming out of his face. That's the thing that I enjoy about the Duke Nukem Forever's development time is that it feels to me that they realized that Duke 3D could be scary at times, and they figured, okay, so we know how to make the player feel badass. How do we make the player feel scared?
Absolutely. Yeah, like, there's a real anxiety in the beginning of DNF I'm so fucking into. Like, oh, it is such my shit. Like, the ambiance of the rain hitting the building, the air raid sirens, and, you know, the gunfire in the background, like, that is so.
Tense.
Oh, yeah, it has an. Yeah.
And it's also the fact that for the longest time they've been going for this parasite style enemy with the snatchers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it just kind of adds this whole new level of like, who
Oh, did I
oh,
drop out of this?
all of a sudden the boss just died. But he's back. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
But yeah, with the snatchers, I think I've said this before in another stream a long, long time ago. But the snatchers to me feel like a really early rendition of Las Plagas from
Oh
Resident
yeah.
Evil 4.
I think you
Oh.
and I talked about this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just get major Las Plagas vibes from how the Snatched work and everything. So to see that in an older game kind of idea with a parasite that infects somebody that still retains their intelligence and slowly mutates them over time,
Hmm.
and to see that in a Duke Nukem game so early from before RE4 like solidified itself is just super fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, it's just such a cool paradigm, and it makes me sad that they abandoned it. But like Charlie Weeder holds comments on how like it got way too complicated as the game went on, where it was just like, oh well, we're having a random chance of like if characters can be snatched or not, and you have like a vision enhancement that you can see if they're snatched or not, and maybe you can shoot them ahead of time, but then people will freak out. It's like I get how they got to a point where like, oh, this has become untenable because it probably got very complicated, but fuck, it's such a good idea.
It really is.
Yeah, and I'm
Going
really
back-
happy to see it being used.
Going back to the whole Duke Nukem being scary, I don't know if I told you any of you individuals, but when I was a tyke, one of the first games I played was Duke 3D, and I distinctly remember Hollywood Holocaust going directly up to a Liz Trooper and going holy hell! Like it just scared the daylights out of my 8-year-old self.
Yep.
So them taking that concept and turning that into 11 would have made a young me absolutely cack my pants if I
Mm-hmm.
played DNF when if it came out, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total
Yeah.
Sure.
sense. I
Yeah.
get you.
I mean, dude, even like Doom
If it
3
came,
at the time scared the crap out of me when I was growing up, and I was like a teenager, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 a.m. nights jumping out of your seat for sure, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
because that 3D pig boss thing.
Yeah.
Um, imagine that making a beeline directly to you.
Yeah,
Right.
that'd be pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Uh,
For sure.
In the dark with
yeah,
some sketchy ass lighting, for sure.
Yeah.
the accounts would need to be cleaned heavily after that.
Yeah. I really liked Doom 3, but it didn't scare me as much as I thought it was going to be. And I remember I got like disappointed at it for it. It was like, that's not really a fair thing to be like disappointed in. But a game that really freaked me out was the first Resident Evil.
Hell yeah.
That game, I played that game far too young, and I remember getting so scared I started crying at the reveal of the zombie the first time. It's like, this is legitimately terrifying.
It does look creepy as hell, man.
Oh yeah, and like playing it back in, I guess it would have been December '97 because I remember I had the PC Gamer that had a demo of it, and I would have been 6. Yeah, so that was very very scary, and yet like I can handle Quake 2's like horrific body horror just fine. It's like, yeah, no, I'm good.
I think the difference between how Quake 2 handled its enemies and Resident Evil did is because with Quake 2, you got heavy metal blaring in the background, you got a
Totally.
your
Yep.
fucking
Yep.
blaster and shit, you're blowing away hordes of them.
Super
And no matter
shotgun.
how, yeah, exactly. No matter how scary the enemy may be, you have a shit ton of ammunition and you have big guns.
Yep.
So when all of a sudden you're just some random, basically super cop just wandering around in a mansion with like a magazine of ammunition at best
Yep. Yep.
for a
Yep.
dicky little pistol, and then all of a sudden you see what can only be described as a literal walking corpse
Uh-huh.
eating somebody. And if you happen to get the Japanese version, seeing some guy's half-eaten head
The
fall
PC
off.
version was uncensored, remember?
Oh yeah. If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
happen to have the PC version, you can just see this half-eaten head fall off into the side, and you can see like this detailed look of this poor dude's head just half
I
gnawed.
have the director's cut for the Sony PlayStation 1. It's the one that claims that, not the one with the crappy keyboard, not the one with the crappy god awful keyboard MIDI, the MP3 to MIDI sounding garbage. The
Mhm.
one that had claims that it's the uncut, uncensored intro, but it turns out it's not because it was a localization error that they
Yeah.
got mixed up.
Yeah, they fucked up like whatever like file distribution and like forgot to include the video. But yeah, so keeping all that horror in mind, also remember that on the PC, the controls from Resident Evil were all I had to go on keyboard. So I am 6 years old. I am scared out of my mind, and I am frankly trying to move around a tank with tank controls on a keyboard only. So like that also really enhanced the horror. Like I don't know what any of these buttons do. I am just shutting down with fear. I remember my dad had to come in and turn it off. Oh god, yeah, I love that game now. So
Oh yeah.
Ironically,
that's how it goes.
the thing that made me the most scared wasn't even a game, but a Japanese manga,
Oh yeah.
which got literally that kind of emotion from me, and that was Berserk.
Yeah, I remember I mentioned on another stream. I need to check out Berserk. I've been meaning to for a while.
I like it, but it
I
is a lot.
Yeah,
I
my
read
friends. Sorry, go ahead.
I read it when I was 10,
Oh
and
jeez.
Yeah, probably not appropriate for a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm okay saying
And,
that.
and sweet mother of God, that was just. Oh, 10-year-old me saw some real shit that day.
Oh my god.
I mean, just even the first manga, like
Yeah.
the first one is like it opens incredibly like heavy and grotesque. So,
Yep.
ugh,
Um,
This
akin
isn't
to
even.
that. Sorry, go ahead.
This isn't even like uh the one similar to her, like Claymore, where it takes a few chapters before it getting into messed up territory. This just drops
running in
the
it.
reader headfirst into WTFville.
Yeah,
Um, when he's literally starts by nailing a demon and then shoving
Yeah,
his mechanical arm in and sending her to whatever god you worship.
yeah.
for sure. So something similar to that is the first time I ever watched RoboCop, where I was also 10 years old, and that movie is fine, I think, for a 10-year-old, except for
Yeah.
that one scene, which even at 10 was like, this is a lot. I am not handling the death of this cop very well.
Huh. I. Oh, like the scene that makes him RoboCop.
Yeah, where they're just shooting the
Got it.
shotguns
Yeah,
at
yeah,
him. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I was like, 'cause I
Yeah,
also adore that movie, and I was sitting there trying to think, like, I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, what?
yeah.
But no,
I'm
The
that's fair.
sorry.
the crucifixion of him, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, but I just have to. I'd buy that for $1.
Jeez.
Yeah. Official Monster Core says that the Turok reboot game from, I guess, '08 freaked them out. And yeah, that's a game I haven't thought about in a long time.
Huh.
That Turok reboot. Ron Perlman in that game.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, always a good time having him around.
So I'm splitting this spawn up into two different ones right now. Right now, how it is, excuse me, we've you open here, you turn the power back on, then they blow a hole in this, and then two guys run in here, and one dude spawns up here. So I'm gonna change it so that now these two dudes run in still, but this dude is going to be slightly different because I think on hard I might give him like M16 and alternative fire or something like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Smash TV. That's a great ass game.
Yeah.
I like Smash TV more than I like The Running Man, I think. I recently watched that, and that movie's weird. It's just weird. Yeah, Smash TV would absolutely exist in the RoboCop universe. That would be an OCP product. Do you see the new Iron Fury game? You talk about Phantom Fury? Because yes, I am very excited for that game. It looks super awesome.
For sure.
And yeah, I actually know someone on that team. Which
Right on.
This is going to
yeah.
be a very, very unpopular opinion, but when they chose the graphic style, they screwed up a little.
For Phantom Fury, or
Yes,
how do you
for
mean?
Phantom Fury. The character's mouth is open.
The character's
Um,
mouth's open in this.
yeah, you had flaps back then,
Yeah.
True,
Even
but
Half-Life 1 had really crude flaps.
but they had
but
teeth, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay,
Yeah, you're fine.
It looks like they chose a PS1 style, a voxel based
right.
style, PS1 era, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen any PS1 game ever that opened its mouth.
Or some.
I
Like,
mean, some really
I
like
know that,
sometimes it looks really crude, but for sure there are games that things open
Yeah.
their mouths and
Because the most I remember is when they waddle their head when they're talking to try to indicate that they're actually all speaking.
I'm
trying to think
thinking
of
the Final
there were
Fantasies are definitely like that, where they just nod their head.
yeah
Um,
there were late game PS1 titles where they had mouth flaps. I want to say Vagrant Story might have done that.
okay. I know Metal Gear Solid was still just moving their heads.
Yeah.
I'm thinking though maybe like I don't know because like what I'm thinking of to be honest with you is Spyro. All three Spyro games have NPCs
Oh
that move their
yeah.
mouths and open their mouths, and I
And
think that's a release title.
Crash 2.
Oh, and Crash One for that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot about those.
Yeah. But
I
yeah,
mean, I had to really think
Grand
about it to be fair, you know. So, but and
yeah.
then it is a fair point to say that it wasn't a very common thing for sure.
Yes, for sure.
Because it
Granddad
looks
points out.
like
Sorry, go ahead.
they chose the what do you call when Duke Nukem Forever was originally being conceptualized, they wanted to go with a voxel based art style, just everything voxels, everything. And it looks like they took that idea for this new Ion game and ran with it, which I've never seen voxel mouths move. But I'm
Um,
not complaining because it also looks badass
yeah.
and frankly, put ripping off a chain gun and then start shooting the enemy train with it is always a good time.
Hell yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, Granddad points out that yeah, Spyro had I guess Crash also had characters open their mouths occasionally, but Keyboard Warrior is talking more about human characters, and yeah, there were examples. I want to say Silent Bomber had mouth flaps, but like very crude ones. Silent Bomber's a great game, by the way. Y'all should play that.
I was honestly thinking of like the anthropomorphic characters in Spyro 2, like Moneybags and
Yeah,
the cheetah, and like especially in like 2 and 3, they do have like, but I guess to the point, you guys are still right where those are still like really like cuddly round characters and not necessarily they're not going for a realistic tone. So that's fair still. So I think that I've set all of the combat up now. So just I know that we've been talking about stuff, but just to kind of give a review of what I've done here. So basically now you come through here. These dudes still have M16s. I'm pretty sure. I may have given them shotguns. Now I can't remember to some degree. I remember most of them. um, uh, yeah, these guys still have M16s. Yeah, for easy, I gave them pistols. And then this is kind of the point where you stop running into pistols. So they're shotguns in hard and M16s and all of the difficulties that come over here. This is after you leave and talk to this guy for the first time. You come back here. These guys spawn over here. So these guys are turned into shotgunners, sometimes pistolers, or sometimes M16s if they're normal or easy. And then this ambush here, it's two shotgunners and two M16 guys running at you through like into here when you're coming into the tennis court. If you're playing on normal, it's the normal encounter we've all played. And then if you're playing on easy, it's one less enemy that runs at you. And then for here, I've added one more enemy to the EDF that run out here to shoot at Duke as you're entering the tennis court, and then made normal and easy just the two that's normal.
okay.
And then I removed the guy who spawns up here on easy, and otherwise this encounter is the same. Oh yeah, and I also gave this guy a grenade, so we'll see if he uses it. And then otherwise that I guess maybe I did some of these other ones without really realizing. Let's check wireframe mode to see if there's some extra hidden thing factories, but I don't think so. I think I've got
Can I offer a suggestion?
Everything covered. I'm listening for sure.
Why not have some snatches in the basement before you flip the uh, generator switch?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, some snatchers up here would be good. Like in here?
Yeah, when you
Down
go
here.
into the building to flip the light switch, have some snatches in the back, in the basement.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
I love the image in that shed of like that little bit on the roof that's just like kind of dangling and just moving with the wind and the rain coming down. Like, oh, that's such a good fucking look.
Oh, and here?
Yeah. Right
Yeah,
there.
that's what I was thinking. Like in the actual basement itself,
Yep.
where the switch is.
So let's see.
Official Monster Course asks, are you planning on putting any of your own Easter eggs in? Yes, but we have a kind of self-imposed limit of nothing past 2003 in terms of references and Easter eggs.
Yep. And we've had some secrets already added in. I think yeah, I can yeah, we have at least one movie reference in that we put in. But
I'll
that
buy
kind of
that
thing
for
is
$1.
definitely on our minds as we work through this stuff.
Please be Lord of the Rings. Please be Lord of the Rings. Please be.
Ooh, I think only the Fellowship of the Ring might fall under, but even then, that might be 2004. I know the books are timeless, but
Check.
you're not really gonna have. I mean, 3D Realms were nerds. I'm a nerd too, and I definitely read that
Yeah.
when I was young. But
Fellowship of 2001,
oh,
Two Towers was 2002, and Return of the King
oh,
is 2003. So there you go.
really?
You're in, you're in the clear, buddy.
We're in the clear for Lord of the Rings references. Okay, that's fun.
No Hobbit references.
uh,
Absolutely no Hobbit
that's
references.
that's that's 100% fine with me. As much as those movies are still fun in their own way, I'm okay.
hmm my girlfriend wants to rewatch the Lord of the Rings movies. We really should because like I watched them when they came out and they kind of did nothing for me. And I've always felt weird growing up being like everyone's like, oh, they love these movies. I'm like, yeah, they're okay. They're all right. So like we're planning to like rewatch them and I'm hoping that it clicks for me this time.
Yeah, I mean, I just really love them, so I feel you. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't help because I really enjoy it. Yeah.
Critical faculties shut down. Lord of the Rings good.
But I will say that I did. Oh, what? Did that not spawn anything? Oh, that's why. Nope. Uh-oh. Because that most likely still did spawn something. Actually, it didn't.
Quick question, Otacon.
Sure.
Is there a programmed
Oops.
grid puzzle solution for the machine in the Ground Zero chapter, or is that just broken in the leak?
Oh.
I,
Um.
I think it's just broken. I don't think it has a solution.
It's most. So. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. At this point, I have been so hard focused on chapter one that I don't remember a whole lot of stuff about this past. Like I have not. I shouldn't say this, I don't remember, but what I mean to say is I have not touched the game past chapter one in like
Yeah,
3 or 4 months.
that's fair. That's fair. It's just because people are playing like later on with the Atoll build, and they're kind of like, "How come this doesn't work?" And it's like, well, it's because it's still a leak there.
Yeah, that's a good question, and yeah, it's most likely just because
Yeah,
it's the leaks, though.
yeah. Would love a reference to Resident Evil in this. Maybe a dead woman near a door with the words "I couldn't lockpick." Um, Maybe just having a lady with like lock picks like next to her hand or something with like a little like blue cap on. That might be
Yeah,
fun.
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
How about Dead Link?
Where would Dead Link go? In the stratosphere or something?
I don't know. Maybe you find him in a vase or something. Because what do
I
you call it? The amount of vase breaking in the Ocarina of Time is still legendary.
That's true. I would say that judging from the fact that, well, Duke Nukem, the first one, did like kind of take shots at Mario, didn't it? I'm trying to remember if they've ever like poked fun at a Nintendo thing out before, because like I feel like even in comedy games, like making fun of Nintendo or like anything Miyamoto worked on is like sacrilege, even though I personally think that there are definitely critiques you can make about Miyamoto's development style, but that's not for here nor there. But yeah, I don't know if 3D Realms would make jokes about. I mean, maybe. I mean, again, we have an entire mall to fill out, so who knows?
Right.
You look out the window in
Okay,
a
it's like a creature factory.
spaceport mission. You see a floating Link.
Yeah,
Or even just a floating Triforce.
find the Master Sword, like a really cheap replica in the Stratosphere or something.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I create snatchers. I'm gonna duplicate this.
The Triforce has got the Duke symbol in it.
A master sword with the nuclear symbol. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the atomic symbol. That's what it is. But yeah.
Dead Link next to a pile of grenades because he blew himself up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'll place a trigger.
Hey Link, how's your quest? Booming.
Place a trigger here where the player's going down. Call it Snatch or Ambush. Make sure that, yeah, the player is going to trigger that basically no matter what. Trigger only once. Okay, build that.
I also thought of maybe having some of the other protagonists in the strip club. The other 3D Realms protagonists.
Tommy?
Huh?
Tommy?
Snake Logan, Lo Wang.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Snake Logan would be fun. I don't know about Lo Wang. Lo Wang would probably fit better somewhere else. I can see Snake Logan with his, like, fucking Magnum PI looking ass being in a strip club.
It's Biomenace, right?
Yeah, Biomenace,
Yeah,
that's right. Major Striker.
Major Striker, Mac Payne.
Guts. Let's see what they look like.
Wow! It's never
Ooh,
happened.
that was weird. Holy shit.
It's never happened before. I've never had that sniper just automatically take me out. I think the secret is not acting like I'm anticipating them.
Yeah. There was references to Lo Wang in Stratosphere with, was it the Lo Wang connection, along with a Dude, Where's My Rickshaw poster, which, dear God, dear fucking God. I love that asset is still in DNF 2011, too. Like, someone involved was like, no, we gotta keep this.
Yeah, no, that's funny.
Yeah, no, this is gold. What are you talking about?
Official Manticore has the best idea. Blake Stone reference.
Ooh, yeah. Like a play in a movie theater. Hell yeah, I'd be way into that. I have a friend who is she's joked about like I was gonna make my own fucking Blackstone fan game someday, and I think she'd be really, really happy about that.
By the way, Autocon.
Yeah.
Did you guys fix the glitch where you can hop onto the roof, using the uh chest right beside the chest right beside the building where you go into to the generator room?
I'm sorry, bud. Can you repeat that one more time for me?
I guessed as much.
Yeah, it's okay.
When you go into the generator room, the building that houses the generator basement,
Okay.
the switch where you turn on the power.
Yep.
You can get onto the in the original build. You can get onto the crate that has supplies. I'm not sure what supplies. I think they're ammo. You can
check
hop
it.
on there.
I don't know.
onto-
We'll check it out once I get over there. Just say something.
Okay.
Because having you describe it to me like this, it's not you. It's the same as if somebody was trying to like give me directions to where I'm driving. It's like while I'm driving, this doesn't make any sense to me.
Turn right off a cliff.
Yeah, it's not you.
Oh, if we need Randy's grease jokes, that's a very modern joke. I mean, in 2003, I was a fan of Gearbox, so you know, they were in a good spot back then. I wouldn't make fun of them back then.
They have
Gearbox
shotguns,
and
but
3D
yeah,
Realms
BM16.
had a good relationship, so I don't see that happening.
Well, actually, that's a good point because they were like beefing with each other real bad in the 90s. Like I remember George making fun of like Rebel Boat Rocker and shit. So maybe there would be a Gearbox joke, but it'd probably be like a Rebel Boat Rocker joke instead of a Gearbox joke. No one remembers Rebel Boat Rocker but me. It's okay.
Seen nothing yet.
I remember him.
You really? You remember Prax War?
Yep,
Fuck. Okay.
I remember that project went nowhere. This right here. Keep going to the left.
This box here,
No, the other
back
one
around. Okay, this one over here.
on the side, there. I was able to open that, hop on, and just hop onto the building itself.
Why did that guy spawn?
And then and you can just bypass the entire key, which soft locks the game later.
Oh, it soft locks the game, so you can't open the door. Why does it soft lock the game?
Yeah. Because you already have the key to the lock in there, key to the.
Yeah, but as
You
long as you've
keep the key.
but if you've activated the power, it shouldn't matter.
No. You still have the key in your inventory when you leave the level.
Like it
Oh,
doesn't get replaced by
interesting.
other keys.
Yeah, the key stays in
Oh.
your inventory after you leave the level. So if you hop up and over and activate the thing this way, you can then leave through the blast door, the blast through the
Yep.
and leave
Huh.
the level, and the key stays in your inventory. So when you get a new key, the next level, you can't accept it because you still have the original.
Interesting. I think what I might do is I might set up a trigger for when you're leaving the level that if you have it in your inventory, it gets rid of it.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, I kind of like the idea of allowing the player to sequence break. I don't really have a problem if somebody like hopping up and on here and then as long as it doesn't break the game, which you're saying it does, when we want to find a way around that part. But I like the idea of somebody be able to just hop into here and do their thing. That's cool.
I
to
do
me.
too, but you can imagine the player's frustration if they do that. They think they're smart, and then later it blows up in their face.
Yeah.
I'd buy
Why
this
don't I?
for a
Why don't
dollar.
I actually have the key card?
You already used it.
Oh, thank you.
I wonder if I don't know how much engineering work this would take, but I wonder if like stealing the way Deus Ex does keys would be a good idea for Duke.
Oh,
Oh,
using like the ring.
yeah.
You hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. So y'all are the one who are like developing, well, helping out with the restoration project.
You're a
Yes.
little close to the mic, I think.
Yeah, but yes, I am the lead level designer and a project manager of the Duke Nukem Restoration project.
Um, so I heard like the first one's going to be available around like Christmas time.
That's the idea. Yep.
Yep, that's the plan.
Um, I'm not sure if you guys are involved with this, but gosh, a while back I submitted some of my voices for the game. If I wanted to play my own voices in the game, how am I doing the editor? I still haven't figured out how to launch it properly.
I can kind of go over that. If you give me just a minute here, we're just testing out one of the we're just testing out some of the difficulty settings here for this level. Speaking of which, I think I'm on normal, and I also need to fix that snatcher trigger because it didn't actually work.
Also, something somewhat random. You had Jeremy to dress up as one of the EDF soldiers, specifically the desert one.
Hardware.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Alright, I got taken out by that sniper, so I guess I'll go ahead and go over, do a quick sounds tutorial.
Official Montrecore is asking about Deus Ex references with posters and stuff, and we've got some ideas for Deus Ex references we've been tossing around.
Are you guys gonna do Half-Life 4 references?
What's that?
What was that?
Are you guys going to do Half-Life references?
Probably. I don't know
Yeah.
for certain. I don't, like so. Yeah, I guess it doubles two sides of this coin. We haven't plotted all of all the references and things we're going to be making and stuff like that.
Of
And
course
on
not.
top of that, I don't necessarily want to give away all the references and other things that we're going to be making nods to and stuff like that. Because so one of the tricky parts of showing you guys this all while we're developing it is that we definitely want to make sure that you still get like you're getting an experience that you didn't expect. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to just give away all those little things or there are certain parts like there's like parts of Casino even though I worked, I think there's like 12 hours of me streaming working on Casino. There's an entire section of Casino that you guys haven't seen yet that was in the build then. You know what I mean? So like there's like things that we're trying to make sure that, we still wanna we gotta it's only showing a little bit of leg, you know what I mean? We gotta
I know,
keep
I
keep
know.
some stuff.
Like even though you guys are showing a lot of things from
Yeah.
the restoration project, you still want to keep some spoilers, hidden, so that it doesn't ruin the surprise.
For sure. And also, like, we also like I don't know if Otacon you would agree with this. We also don't want to overstuff the game with references too. Like, we want the references to be like, sporadic. So they're not like just overwhelming you constantly, making you just go,
Yeah,
I know what that is over and over again. Like you
yeah.
wanna you wanna have
I just
a
feel
kind of
like
pacing.
some references are like kind of like obvious that they will be in the game because like
Sure.
back when Duke
Right.
3D released, they made like not Quake and Doom because those were the best popular FPS games.
Yeah.
So I figured that since Half-Life came out before Duke Nukem Forever 2001 would come out, I guess they would make a nod to it. Like it was the popular FPS of the time,
Right.
aside from Quake and Unreal Tournament. So yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So you asked me about sound files. So what you want to do in order to just get your audio into the game. And this goes for any audio. You How can I do this carefully? Let me turn off a view to my second monitor really quick. And then I'll get everything set up to show you, and then we can kind of go from there. Make sure nothing, yeah. The normal stuff. Okay. Second monitor, transition, boom. All right. So what you're going to want to do is you have your game folder, and then you open up your sounds folder, and anything you import into the game, you need to, as far as like sounds, meshes, textures, always make sure that they're just in the folder that they're going to end up be like the package is going to be built into. So you put your sound file in here, and then there's two things to make sure. Make sure that it is a WAV file. Three things to make sure. Make sure it's a WAV file. Make sure it's in mono, and make sure that it's not over 4,400 hertz or 44,000 hertz, 44k hertz. Otherwise, the game will not recognize it. Or I shouldn't say it won't recognize it. It will crash the game if you play stereo sounds. This is something we're working on. Ultimately, I think that once we change off of, if and when we change off of Galaxy, which is the current the current audio engine for the game, we will get a little more support for other things. But for now, these are the settings. So yeah, just to go over it again, it's got to be a wave. It's got to be mono. It's got to be 44K. Okay, so once you've done that, you're going to go up to your sounds and you're going to import. And so I'm going to import the score hit. And then it's going to give you this little window here. And so what we do here with the project is we try as hard as we can not to modify the original packages. Some of the original packages have been modified just to make it convenient, but a lot of like custom sounds or textures or anything else like that go into like a package of our name. So I would call this like Liquid SFX for sound effects. And then that's going to be the name of your package. And then you got a group, so I'm going to call this Sound FX. And then its name is Score Hit. And then I click OK. And now in Liquid SFX, which is already a package I have, you can see there's that. It added this, right? So then I just go to File, Save. What do you want to name your sound package? Liquid SFX. And you save, and yeah, that's how hard it is. Now, sometimes, not always, but sometimes on the map, you have to go to the original spawn location of Duke in order to get the sound effects to play. But since I went over here and I do this, you can hear it charging. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I know that was a quick crash course, but yeah.
So we need to be away from.
Really complicated so far.
Yeah, they have to be a WAV file, and you mentioned not above 44.1, right, Otacon?
Yep, not above 44.1, and it's got to be mono.
Okay.
All due respect, this is not complicated at all for
Yeah.
game engines this time. Because what I consider complicated is trying to deal with assembly code.
Hey, Shinket, could you move to push to talk?
So, so are you releasing this like episodically? Or are you waiting for the full thing to be complete? That's something we're still talking about on the development team. We know that we're gonna release chapter 1, and it's not necessarily going to be 100% complete, but it is going to be in like a 90% capacity complete. You know what I mean? And then, that's just to say that there might be further changes down the line that we make to chapter 1, like here or there or something like that. But otherwise, yeah, we haven't quite decided whether or not we're going to just do a straight episodic release or if we're going to do something slightly different.
Hmm.
I think it'd be fun to do episodic. Like I think that would be interesting, but also like kind of exhausting to test out constantly new releases and things.
Yeah. And also to just be honest with it, we're uh, we're just a bunch of volunteers, so it's hard to nail down even how long this is going to take us, let alone
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious where I asked that question with the audio. On the additional website that you guys had, I was doing the EDF soldier, one of the EDF soldiers' voices, where I was pretty much saying, like, dude, it's a mess out here. One moment, my troops are doing these mutually freestyle. The next, you pretty much get it, right?
I'm afraid that some of that was fuzzy and I didn't really hear you.
Yeah.
As
Sorry
far
about that.
as stuff with the project goes, we should have had somebody who reached out to you. If we haven't reached out to you or you're not on the actual dev server, something else must have happened. So as far as that goes, I don't want to address it on air because I'm literally live on air. But I will be more than happy to chat with you in DMs or something like that afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't.
Going
I
back
only like
to
being. I
the,
only like being put on the spot so much.
I get it.
going back to the whole episodic thing. Wait, is there a reverb on?
Yeah,
Do I have a reverb?
Yeah, Shinkid, could you move to push to talk? Thank you. Sorry, go ahead, keyboard.
Do I have a reverb?
No, it's not.
no,
It's
you're
not
good
you.
now.
Okay. I don't think a what do you call episodic approach is a good idea for you guys. For this because because if you release episode 2, then suddenly people have to patch in the original leak and then episode 1 and then episode
Well,
2.
So actually, you don't need the original leak anymore. You can just
Oh, you don't?
you can just. I don't know if you've checked out the Bikini Atoll build, but you can just download it off of our ModDB our ModDB page, and then access the game. You don't need the original files anymore. In fact, something that we've talked about, we don't have it 100% just yet, but the plan is to actually release our mod alongside of the original leak. So what you'd be able to do is, play our campaign and then still have access to the original campaign. This is something that's still very much in the work. But yeah, you don't need the original leak anymore. And on top of that, we are also working on a launcher, which should also help prevent the need from people having to download fresh files on their own and stuff like that, where you'd be able to essentially grab the update through that.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine confusion and annoyance because not everybody is technologically sound, and
Yep.
I don't mean to demean those people. It's just sometimes it's easier to go, boop, boop, okay, it's done. Playing now.
And that was actually exactly why we released the Bikini Atoll build, because before, in order to play, the stuff that the Restoration Project had been working on, you had to download, you had to install like 22 gigs worth of extra files and all kinds of other stuff. And now,
Tons of wrappers, etc., etc.
yep, now it's just all a one-stop shop.
And it's given us a pretty solid foundation to build off of.
Yeah. Lots of good feedback, lots of good info.
I'm still beyond impressed about how flexible the Unreal Engine is, this version of it. Considering how there was a lot of engines from back then that didn't, that just do not work well with modern systems.
have sworn they were using some sort of wrapper in the leak itself, because I don't know if you try to run the D3D code like native, I don't know if it works 100%. I could be wrong about that though.
It does.
Really interesting.
Yeah, you don't need a wrapper. There is the bad polygon issue, but the fact that it can even get the damn thing working to begin with is frankly impressive considering the age of the hardware.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, also
Age of
consider it's
the
an
software.
yeah, also consider it's an in development build too.
Let's
Like
see
that
what they
is
look like.
that's incredible. Like in development builds, like sometimes just don't work. Period. You know.
Yeah, because ever tried to run any of the old Lithtech engine
Oh
games?
yeah. Oh yeah.
They don't play nice with modern anything.
They really don't. Even like AVP2 is very fussy.
Because AVB2 in particular has been giving me nothing but
Let's do
headaches
this.
because if you have a specific Razer or anything Razer headset wise in, it won't
Hmm.
work. Won't work. End of
Jeez.
story. Just automatic no.
Yeah, and then Fear has that issue with Logitech things, right? Where like the USB polling is too much for the engine or something.
You need to have a very specific
Kids,
setup in
I'm a
order to get that
professional.
thing to actually
They try
run,
this
and
at school.
Yeah.
not everybody can just do that.
Absolutely not. No.
So
Uh,
they're having this work just right out of the gate, no questions.
Get some.
yeah. Incredible shit.
Just shows you how good the engine was originally built.
Let's see what they
Hmm.
look like.
Oh, 3D Realm had a very talented staff. Unbelievably so. I mean, you know, a lot
Not
of
just 3D
people.
Realm. And sorry for cutting you off, but not just 3D Realms, but also the original code makers themselves.
Epic.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, outside of like Unreal Ed 1 being kind of a nightmare to work with, yeah, I'd agree.
I mean
Like,
just the engine code itself, not
oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you there. Yeah.
because the actually editing the damn thing is nightmare rocket fuel, but the
Yeah.
actual engine itself is still very, very capable
Hmm.
despite its many uh what do you call it? Then boundaries.
Yeah. Absolutely. Official Munch Core says, I do think a demo would be good. Yep, that's what we're planning to do by the end of the year, hopefully. Of course, that's all subject to change.
Yeah,
Because
all goes well. It will come.
yeah,
It will come this
Getting
fall
started.
or this.
as
this winter.
Otacon, yeah, as Otacon established, we are all unpaid volunteers and we are all human beings. So we will do our best, but
UV.
health
Holy
comes
crap.
first.
10 out of 10 10 out of 10 for the how you swung on those ropes. I've never seen it that good.
This is also what I was kind of meaning by you can just kind of beef yourself up. I still have 200 hit points from the previous level.
Yeah, I guess I'm referring to the playtester build and how some of these pickups aren't there yet.
Yeah, I think that's true
So,
too.
Getting started. Push my interest. Pisses
Cool.
me off.
Again, this is hard. This is the hard difficulty.
God gamer over here.
No, I mean just in case anyone's like thinking to themselves, it's a whole lot of enemies. Yep, it's supposed
Oh,
to.
right.
Yeah, they're supposed to
Okay.
be. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not filleting myself. No.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so honestly, I think that feels pretty good. I think that I'll have to have, of course, folks test it and let me know what they think. But I think that I was able to do more or less 2 runs with living through 3/4 of it, if not the entire thing. So I think that's a pretty good place to have that. Um,
Happy early birthday, Manticore.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm cool with this. We're gonna save this. We'll push this up later. Um. Okay. So I've probably got about an hour left, maybe a little longer than that. I think I'm gonna step away for about 5 minutes, just really quick, grab something to drink and that kind of thing, and then I'll come back, and we will resume with some. I think I said study. Pretty sure that's what I said we were going to work on.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, thank you for tuning in. And like I said, we will be right back in like 5 minutes or so.
Though, like the guns, they really sound like meaty and punchy. I really
Yeah,
love guns, like punchy guns. Like they make a good sound every time you shoot them.
absolutely. Yeah. To Moby Games I go. I will say this. We were talking briefly about Doom Forever 2011 during the break. But like one of the things I love the most about that game, and this is something that a lot of games don't do, even like really good games, they credited every single developer who ever touched it. And that is very
Oh,
admirable.
really? That's
Every
fucking
single one.
awesome.
There
Holy
are
shit! Well,
737
honestly,
people credited on that game.
Cool.
fuck. They basically credited everyone has touched the build of the game.
Uh-huh.
Holy shit! That's incredible. Honestly, like that's commendable.
Hmm.
That's worth the game existing like at
Yeah.
all. Like
Because then you can
having
talk about it on your resume.
yeah, like I worked at Duke Nukem Forever like once, but yeah, basically you can say that. Yeah, it's crazy.
There
So
was there
Lee
was
Ch-
a single sound effect that needed to be re-implemented.
Oh wow.
Glad I did it, but goofy.
So Lee Jackson is credited as additional sound design. So I wonder
Makes
if
sense.
because he has done sound effects before for games. He did apparently all the sound for Doom 3D and Shadow Warrior.
Uh, so do you guys know who like voiced the EDF soldiers in the 2001 build? Because the guy did a fucking awesome job,
That's a
like with the
great
shouts
question,
and
honestly.
all.
Short controlled bursts.
I like the scream they do
Oh
when
yeah.
they die. Like it's fucking like brutal.
Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if that was a developer or if they actually like
I think it was an actual voice actor. It was just too good to be a
yeah.
fucking dev doing that.
Oh, the other thing is that I want to make sure that the level info
Like
is set.
the EDF soldiers were probably like the most finished enemy they had at that point. Because like there's other enemies in there as well, but like most of them are either kind of finished and buggy or have no sound effects whatsoever.
Terminators
Like
also were ready to go as well.
Yeah.
yeah. I faced some of them while playing the Liquid build. I honestly really wish the sandworms were like working and not just T posing. I guess you could say that T posing. There's also those. I don't know what those are. Like in some of the heat wave levels, you can like encounter those fucking dinosaur-looking things. I don't know what they're called.
Tesla Raptors.
Probably
Belisol,
they have.
Belisol.
I don't know, really. I don't know their names, but like they're green. They look like dinosaurs and have
Yeah.
big fucking
Those
mouths.
Tesla Raptors, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I
thought they were
just
Belisors.
Oh yeah,
Oh, there's
Belosaurus, that's
also
right. Yeah,
Belosaurs
yeah.
too. Yeah. The Tesla Raptors are the yellow ones. The Belosaurs are the green ones.
Yes, yes. Okay,
And
I
if I saw
just
any of those when I was a child, I would have absolutely soiled myself because those things are just terrifying.
Oh yeah,
Random
they're
question to ask: is Google Docs down for anybody else right now?
Let me check.
I haven't checked.
No, works for me right now.
Strange.
Hmm. I
What's
just
gonna?
asked Lee Jackson if he did the sound design for DNA 2001. See if he responds.
There we go. It finally loaded.
Yay!
I'm just trying to pull up the info for this level so I can make sure it spawns properly when you. Oh. Well, how about that? We kept the name that this time for this one. Set the location name. Okay. Save, and now when I test a level,
Are you guys still keeping the Megadeth theme for
no,
the main menu?
no, we actually have a different theme. It's just that we left the.
Like, what's the origin of the like the menu theme? Like, it's pretty good, but I don't know where it comes from. Was it something
Megadeth.
done?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
something done. It's Megadeth. Yep.
holy shit! Megadeth made a fucking Duke Nukem remix or I guess
Oh yeah,
song.
Yeah.
they were going to do the theme,
That's fucking awesome, dude.
and then KMFDM was going to do the music for Prey '98, but George didn't pay them.
Oh,
That sucks.
so we'll
Yeah.
save this. I remember one of the things that needs to be fixed here. If memory serves, the SOS call.
Is it going
The
to be
little
a
message.
custom? What do you call it? A custom theme for the main menu?
Yes.
Yeah, because
Because I
Brandon
really
Bloom's
like.
still on our team, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Because I really like the 1998 rendition.
I like it, but I wish it was punchier.
Have you heard the HD version of it?
I have, but like the drums sound really weak to me. Like I like drums that are like punching me in the gut, you know?
Hmm.
That's just probably like a personal preference thing. I know people really like that theme, and it's a cool theme.
Because the intro guitar mix. Oh, it sounds so good.
It says rebooting SOS in the bottom right hand corner for some reason. It's gonna have to do with this guy here.
You guys like do multiplayer nights in here? Cause like I really dig the multiplayer as it is right now, even though it's pretty like bare bones. But it's fucking fun. Like I've done some quick matches with some people here. It's like the most fun I ever had in a multiplayer FPS game, honestly.
We talked about it. We might do stuff like that. Shouldn't say we most likely will do stuff like that in the future, especially when we're getting close to the end of our mapping contest. The
Yeah.
plan is to kind of do do some stuff and allow people to play those maps and stuff like that. Maybe we do something with the community at that time as well. Um, uh, Part of the problem, I shouldn't say part of the, it's not a problem. Part of it is just that you just got to nail people down. You know what I mean? Like, we all
Yeah.
have very busy lives. The team lives all over. It's not even just all over the U.S., it's all over. We have people from all over the world, multiple different countries, and so even like even sometimes getting together meetings is can be a challenge just to try to find a point in time where it's like not 3 in the morning for somebody, and you're able to get as many people in as you can. But that being said, I would definitely like to do some stuff with that. We've done that a couple times with the internal dev team, and I've played a couple times with some online matches. Once we get the first night we got the multiplayer server up, I played some matches with folks as well.
Yeah, like I guess it's pretty hard being like a uh, development team with people all over the place, and like, but making a multiplayer night with like the community must be much easier since anyone can join in. So
Well, yeah, I'm
they
just saying this as far as specifically with like any of us,
Yeah.
it would be hard. I mean, with the uh, with the
Like a like a
other folks in
dedicated
the
play with
server,
devs
yeah,
night. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if we have people that want to try to get that stuff together, I would definitely be down with
that'd be very cool. I honestly really wish I could play like a match filled with players, all blowing shit up and stuff.
yeah, I feel you.
And like I have, by my own personal experience, certain aspects of the multiplayer needs to be rebalanced. Like certain
Yes.
weapons are just fucking broken. Like
Yep.
Sure.
the sniper rifle and the firewall mode for the flamethrower. That shit is just broken.
Mhm.
That thing's
And
just broken.
the M16 also is a little too accurate for what it is.
True, that's true as well. And like the Desert Eagle can really aim really far away. Like I've made some kills. Like the guy was pretty far away from me, and I managed to kill them with the fucking Desert Eagle. It's fucking ridiculous. And also like some placements in some of the maps are questionable. Like there one map with the turret. That fucking turret could be re-exploitable, honestly.
Did I just
Small
see that
boat.
right? I saw a stay tuned with a uh, nuclear symbol.
Oh yeah,
You saw that right.
we'll definitely show that off. Oop, just knocked my mouse. So something I'm trying to fix. It says it's rebooting the SOS, and I didn't mean to come up here with you. I'm sorry. It says it's rebooting the SOS in the bottom left-hand corner, and so I'm just kind of playing around with the different type of SOS events. That one didn't do anything. Oh, it's just playing. That's interesting.
I wonder what they were trying to do with Maxi Moorhead.
I think it was just supposed to be a goofy reference.
Yeah. Also, is that like her name now since Civi called her that? The power of Civi to make things canonical.
I don't remember if she has an actual name here.
Because we did see her, you do see her crop back up again in the Hollywood Holocaust throwback level.
Yeah. I assumed it was that like that's like
Memory serves, the texture does have an actual name.
oh interesting, okay.
I'm trying
I
to
always
just.
assumed it was like a thing where like she lives not just in his computer but like in his glasses too. So like maybe she chimes in throughout the game to like give advice or something. Like, you know, hey, where am I? You're at X location, Duke.
Yeah, I feel you there.
Yeah.
I feel like there's. Oh, that's maybe why. Hmm. Unfortunately, I can find it somewhere through here, but it's just gonna be me flicking through menus for a second. Not that it always isn't just me flicking through menus for a second, but
As always, that's game development, baby.
yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
As,
Yep, her name is even Maxine.
Oh wow, okay. There you go.
is what?
Her name is
Name's
even
Max.
Maxine in the SMK.
That's great.
Even Maxine.
Yeah, it's Maxine.
Mm.
Yeah. If I click here, you can see the surface is SMK for Maxine, and then if I bring up my Duke 4, we open up my textures. There she is. So yeah,
There she is.
Crazy.
it's not just a bit. Okay, so so about this SOS call. So all the SOS calls are like that, which is interesting. I don't know. So I've never set one up from scratch. That's just this. Yeah, okay. There aren't a whole lot of settings in here. Texture.
Going back to game development,
Yeah.
Richard Leverload Gray put it the best. It's always a hack about how to get features out of an engine until they codify, in which case it just becomes a feature then.
Absolutely true. Ah, love a lord. Hope that Sin remaster comes out at some point.
10 out of 10 for having Sin also in the new Ion game.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Seeing fucking Blade there, that's pretty great. But I wonder how much of that was that, like, oh, we originally wanted Duke, but
It stings
So,
how
yeah.
3D Realms, Gearbox are both owned by the same company. I don't think it would be.
yeah. But they also, they got beef.
Well, I don't think I can actually do anything about that. I think it's set somewhere else.
Then again, I've heard that there's still a lot of Obsidian developers do not like Bethesda, and they are both owned by Microsoft. So having those two play nice is difficult.
I don't know. I've heard some mixed things on that. Like, I remember I once heard that, like, Todd Howard hates New Vegas, but then, like, he was releasing a video for New Vegas for, like, the 25th anniversary of Fallout and all that shit. But, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know his true feelings on Obsidian. I imagine it's somewhat frustrating because, like, a large portion of the fan base loves New Vegas over anything else Bethesda has done in terms of Fallout. But, like, I don't know if there's actual, like, hatred there, you know?
I wouldn't call it hatred. I would say complicated feelings as
Yeah, that's fair.
due to difficult dealings in the past.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I mean, yeah, I mean, Bethesda. Someone once told me that the way Bethesda acquires studios is by endurance hunting them, which like they've done that with Arcane. They tried to do it with Human Head, and they eventually succeeded. They tried to do it with Obsidian, where basically like they give you a project, and then they basically like cut you a little bit, and they just watch you as you bleed out, and then eventually say, "Hey, do you want us to buy you?"
I have no comment.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry, you managed to hit a nerve with me because Human Head Studios Prey 2 is a sore spot for me still.
Oh yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, I adore Prey 2017. That's a fantastic fucking game. Like, game's so good it made me cry with how good it is. Like, no joke. But
I envy
yeah,
you
Prey 2.
because I refuse to play that game.
Oh, well, it's
You should. You really,
yeah,
really should.
it's a really good game, to be
It's
honest.
Oh,
fantastic.
very well, I would take your word for it, but when there's a lot of bad blood,
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Eh. But I mean,
then
is it your burden to carry?
Exactly.
I mean, think of it this way: like, there are still people who worked really hard on that game, and even they themselves have come out and said that they didn't really want to call it Prey.
Yeah, absolutely. Even recently.
Yeah, even
I'm not
recently.
I'm not attacking any of those individuals, and they
Right. I'm just saying though that you know what I
then
mean. Like they didn't cause they're not the ones who flip flop studios and did all kinds of other stuff or moved people around or delayed whatever or anything. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. Other than knowing that there is like something with Prey 2 and like I mean I've seen like the shots, but I don't know. I guess I don't know as like deep of the controversy surrounding it, but
Open sesame.
I don't know. I I feel you.
for the gameplay of it, and I, without question, believe that it's would have been the best game, the best first-person shooter of the entire uh, Xbox 360, PS3 generation, no question. Kind of like how DNF would have been that way with the PS2 generation, and see it be lost
But
to
like
corporate.
that actually makes me think, like, if the game actually released back then, what consoles would you get ported to? Like PS2, Xbox, probably
There
Xbox.
is, yeah, Xbox. There is evidence that they were like looking at PS2 porting in the build itself. I want to say, like
Really?
I mean, it's all audio exported from I think either Zero Hour or Land of the Babes, but like there's references to like the X button and like the circle button and stuff like somewhere in the game. I forget where. I think it's in the zoo, maybe.
Yeah, it's in the characters there.
Yeah, but like they're definitely thinking that direction. Could this have run Did PS2 have run DNF? I don't think so. I think I've said it before. I think it was better to continue the way of doing the spin-offs for like consoles only.
Open sesame.
And then like maybe Xbox could have ran this. And also you probably would have gotten like a pretty tidy sum from Microsoft in terms of you know extra dev money.
I don't think it would have run
On original Xbox?
on the PS2.
No, probably not. But they were looking at it,
Probably
is what I'm
not.
saying.
The
Like,
reason why I would
like
say
I
that,
think the Xbox was the only one capable of running that game back then.
Yeah.
the reason why I would say that is the original Deus Ex was ported to the PS2,
Mhm.
and it got, to a lot of people, an ugly sack in quality.
Still runs though. I mean, it's still identifiably Deus Ex.
True, but it did not have the expansive level design, and it was not what people were hoping for.
Right. I mean, I think it's similar to like how they used to support like PC shooters like PlayStation 1 and Saturn, right? Where they used to have to like put like big walls up everywhere to keep the frame rate from tanking. So like it's I feel like the PS2 version of Deus Ex is a lot more forgivable if you think about it in that regards. But to your point, that could DNF have run in the PS2 at all? Yeah, I don't think so. They'd have to very much they'd have to change a lot to get it to run there, and then at what point it doesn't make sense to do, right?
Isn't like the Doom 3 Xbox version like pretty botched compared to the original PC version?
Not really. It's actually a really impressive port, honestly. I used to have a friend who liked it more on Xbox than PC for whatever reason. I mean, one of the reasons was it had co-op. But no, I recall that port being pretty damn solid. You
It's
know,
like I've heard that some levels were like shortened and certain things a little bit nerfed so that it could actually run on the Xbox.
That I'm not sure about. But again, you have to consider that this is coming from an era where like ports were made, like were edited to fit on consoles. You know, similar to like how um like take Quake on the Saturn, right? Like in order to get Quake running on the Saturn, they had to port it to a completely different engine, right?
Oh, I didn't
And they
know
had to
that.
like yeah, they had to redo like maps, they had to like redo the way that like the 3D worked and stuff. It's a really really impressive port. Does it feel as good as PC Quake? No, absolutely fucking not. But it's still super impressive, right?
Um,
Like, especially when you
the
consider that like the Saturn couldn't do like good 3D.
Yeah, true.
the other thing that I would point to and say no, this wouldn't work is the original the engine itself.
Hmm.
This engine is built. I've said this before, but this engine is built for one platform and one platform only.
PC.
PC.
Yeah. And I
So
think
trying to shove a PC engine into a PS2
mm,
doesn't work.
yeah. And I think they would even agree with you on that because like they famously said that, you know, when they were trying to get I think DNF 07 ported to 360 and PS3, it ran like single frame rates. You know, it ran like absolute dog shit, and you know they had to keep cutting all these cool like things, like the whole Duke scripting language and all that. They had to cut all that stuff just to get it to run.
And simply put, if there was a what do you call it? If there was a hypothetical port that generation of this game, I don't think it would be anything other than on the original Xbox.
I agree with that. It would probably it would probably be at home on the original Xbox. Personally, in my mind, there's a world where like if DNF 98 came out, would have came out on like Dreamcast or something. Because like something about DNF strikes me as like just a Dreamcast game for whatever reason. I think it's because there's so much blue in it, and it feels so year 2000 at times. But
It,
yeah,
it kind of it kind of is a 2000 game. Like even the 98 version would have been, an early 2000s game since it was like in the
yeah,
late 90s and shit.
for sure, yeah.
And I also don't think it would have come out on the GameCube.
No,
Well,
Nah,
well,
no,
nah, absolutely not. Like, not that the GameCube couldn't properly run that game. Probably it could, but Nintendo was just not really into that kind of game, you know.
yeah, they weren't
n-
offering that kind of dev support.
not that. It's the mini discs.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I don't know, 4 different discs just to run Duke Nukem
Yeah,
Forever.
I think we were talking about that in a previous stream. I was just like, yeah, do you want to play Duke Nukem Forever, where you have to ask for like a disc change halfway through?
Yeah, you finish chapter
In
4, and
theory,
then you gotta
it,
change the fucking disc.
in theory, it could work. In practice, that gets irritating.
Yeah, and also think of the manufacturing cost, you know, because like those discs aren't free.
How many discs were Resident Evil 4? Like,
Two, I think. Let me
only
double check
2.
that. Let me double check that just in case. GameCube. Yep, 2 discs.
Uh, and Metal Gear Solid, the fucking remake of
Twin
the first
saves.
one.
Yeah. I will double check that. Two, two
Okay, cool.
discs.
So that's
Okay, so
fixed.
basically, they were only willing to make 2 disc games because honestly, that's a lot.
How much was
So
Tellson's
Yeah, because I
Estonia?
think even Resident Evil 4 is only 2 discs as well.
Yeah.
I think
That's
like if the game passes like the 2 discs, Nintendo would just not really be okay with it. It would be too like cost worthy and impracticable as well. Like just imagine you getting a game and you knowing you've changed the disc more than once to play the entire thing, you know.
um Yeah, you're right. There's only been like 2 disc games throughout its entire lifespan. It never went
Yeah,
above 2.
yeah. I think Nintendo would not like more than two like discs
Yeah.
to properly play a game on the GameCube. And also, they were right. Just imagine, like, if they didn't put the restriction and people just take games like a bunch of different discs. That would be just so fucking horrible.
If Nintendo didn't do the mini disc thing.
No, like it's good that they did it. You know, like they put a restriction, only 2 discs per game.
Um, I mean, that's really restricted to developers, right? And like the reason why they do things like that, I mean, that's going back to the N64 was Nintendo really loved how much control they had during the cartridge years, right? Like they had complete say over, how their storage mediums were used. They could charge whatever the hell they wanted because you had no other choice, right? And I think that's the real reason why that like they always stuck with proprietary formats because they wanted that control. Like Nintendo's really good at making you think it's a friendly company, but like it's also a very cold-hearted business company at times.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah, like
Fun fact: the Wii could actually play DVDs
oh yeah,
if you
Oh,
soft
yeah,
modded
that's
it.
true. Yeah,
and the
that's
Wii U
true.
can play Wii games.
And Switch can play games because it has games.
You play cloud games if you want to play a game that doesn't work.
Yeah, 3
I have
FPS
a
and a lot of delay input.
Yep.
I have a complicated relationship with Nintendo
I mean,
in the sense
I
of I grew up with them,
yeah,
but at the
I
same time, I can look through them and see that they are not a company I would want to work with.
yeah. I mean, especially right now. I mean, all the allegations coming out of like abuse of their QA department and shit. Not great.
For
Um,
Nintendo?
oh yeah, no, like their QA department's trying to unionize, and they're like extremely not okay with that.
Shit.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I had the opposite life where like there was a Nintendo in our household for a lot of my youth, but like primarily I played PC and like I had a Saturn, then I had a PlayStation, then I had a PlayStation 2, briefly messed with SNES and N64, but like it always came back to PC. So like Nintendo for me is like a weird like it's a hole in my memory, so to speak. Like I've never finished a Nintendo game. Actually, no, I finished Metroid Fusion once, and that was a fun time.
Metroid Fusion's good.
It's fucking amazing that game. Um, but like never finished a Zelda, never finished a Mario. So like it's the amount of attachment people have to Nintendo is like I get it, but at the same time, like it's kind of alien to me.
Like,
So like,
I'm
I can
basically on
I
the
can bring it
same.
back.
I'm basically on the same game as you. Like
mm,
when I was a kid, I didn't really care about Nintendo all that much. Like I think when I was 10, my dad bought me a Wii, and I had like Mario Kart and shit. But I didn't care all that much. I only started playing my Wii when I got Smash Brawl because I absolutely loved that game.
oh hell
And
yeah,
it actually made me like love Smash Brothers to this day. I bought the Switch so that I could play Ultimate back in 2018, you know.
Hmm.
But aside from that, the only other like Nintendo game that I really like are like the Kirby games and
oh yeah,
Earthbound.
yeah.
That's
I
it.
I have a Kirby plush right above my bed. It's fantastic.
Yeah, like
I will spin this
like
on its head then.
at
Um,
the at the
it's
beginning of the
how
year. Oh, sorry.
Hang on. What are you saying, Doc?
Oh, like at the beginning of the year, I did a Kirby marathon. I challenged myself to beat every single mainline Kirby game, and I got to like triple deluxe, but my computer fucking broke. So I'm just waiting. So I'm just waiting for a new one so that I can finally finish this, or at least play up until Planet Robobot because The other two, I'll just have to buy it because I don't think I'll be able to emulate a Switch on
Yeah.
my computer, even though it'll be a better one than the one I have already. But anyway, nonetheless, it was a good experience, honestly. Like, playing the Kirby games was certainly something very nice. Like, one of my favorite genres, starting like FPS, is platformers. Like, I really fucking love Crash Bandicoot, for example. So playing something as fast paced as Kirby was a joy, honestly. Especially Kirby Superstar, Kirby 64, and Return to Dreamland. Those three were the highlights for me.
Cool. Awesome. And
Yeah,
you were going to say keyboard?
It's how I feel about Nintendo is how many other people would feel about Blizzard Entertainment.
Oh.
oh god, Blizzard. Ugh.
That's my point.
Oh. Oh.
And
Blizzard is like the fucking like
you,
Satan of game developers.
you grow up with them, you love their product. But
That's true
when
though.
you finally get to the point where you can actually see them as a company, you find out that they aren't as good as you thought they were.
Yeah, Activision as well, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you guys, like I don't know. I find that as I get older, like that kind of stuff, like that happens all the time,
Yeah.
all around.
It's
Like
it's all
you will,
studios.
yeah, it's all studios, but it's also just like even like other things you don't immediately think about, like
Mhm.
record label companies and like
Yep.
movie
It's, chi-
studios and
Book
like
publishers.
book publishers. Yeah, like
it's childhood
these kinds of
innocence.
things all like exist throughout all the media we consume, unfortunately. And not everything is always bad, but I don't know, that's why it's a
Yeah, like no, I see your point. Like, indeed, no company is like a angel. You know,
yeah.
every single company has done some really like deep shit to their employees.
And it's
Even
But
indie.
if
absolutely not to downplay anything that's been going on
No.
at
no, of
Activision
course
Blizzard
not. Like,
whatsoever. I mean,
Blizzard went way
Hold
overboard
on,
than
hold on, hold
any of
on.
the others. Like,
Adoc, hold on. Sorry, you're saying Otacon?
yeah, no, it's okay. But I appreciate it. Yeah, like,
sorry.
no, it's okay. Um, uh, we all get excited, and that's how conversations happen.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
totally fine. But yeah, I mean, even with all the stuff that was happening with Activision Blizzard, like that caused me to like, I don't know. My buddies got me to re-download or download Overwatch 2 just to try it out. I played a match of it, maybe two
Yeah.
matches of it. But otherwise, I haven't like touched a Blizzard game in like a long time, and like I wasn't like I unsubbed to World of Warcraft like forever ago after playing it since original release and stuff, and so I totally feel you guys. Like it's not to downplay with what they've done, but it's just that yeah, these kinds of things unfortunately are just a to some degree a grim reality of where we are.
Yeah, and the goal is to agitate for better things, and that's
Hmm.
you get that by like unionization and things like that, and also like it's not just as you pointed out, even in game development, it's not just AAA. I mean, there was that big thing that happened with all those Annapurna games. All those developers that they were running and what awful like hellscapes their developers were running, and they just didn't do anything about it. I mean, they really couldn't because they were just publishers, they didn't own the studios, but they didn't even try. And yeah, I mean, you just gotta set that line for yourself, right? And at some point you will interact with art that is made by someone who is, or like has been made under conditions that are less than favorable. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I mean, every
That's
Doom and Quake, horrific dev cycles. Like broke people down, destroyed relationships, but they their landmark titles.
That's actually kind of how I feel about Prey 2017.
Hmm.
It's not that I hate the individuals who made the game. It's more about how I understand the politics behind that game that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
For sure.
Like,
The thing, I like to look at the whole Blizzard thing as a good way of like showing, maybe just maybe showing to other like corporations that if you do this shit a lot, especially to your employees, you won't be seen so lightly by the general public. That will hurt you in some capacity,
Yeah,
you
absolutely. I
know.
mean, you lose talent over time.
Yeah, like you lose reputation. People won't trust you as much when they know you're a shady business, a really shady business.
Hmm.
So like it
Absolutely.
kind of puts them on the edge. Like, hey, let's not do this so much. Like we don't want to end up like those guys.
For sure.
speaking about what Otacon said, it's for how I summarize it, it's childhood innocence meeting real life business,
For sure. Yeah. No, no,
which is
absolutely.
cutthroat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
And
unfortunately.
simply put, my relationship to Nintendo is still dealing with the fallout that it was not the company that the childhood me thought it was.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, and that,
It's
honestly,
one.
and I'm not, I wasn't even trying to, I'm not trying to downplay that either. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
no, no one
it's
is.
definitely a very real feeling. I totally feel
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm just expanding upon my original thoughts.
Yeah, yeah, you're fine.
It basically it's something to remind us that that kind of shit doesn't only happen at Blizzard. It happens everywhere, and
Yep.
that's the saddest thing about it.
Yep.
But we are getting better.
Yes.
I sure
Absolutely.
hope so. I sure hope so.
Because even with false flags, even with this, that, and the other thing, people are starting to realize, oi, this is unacceptable.
Yeah. And people are more willing to call it out now.
And saying,
Indeed.
oi, this stops. We don't like it.
Hmm.
And it's not just, microtransactions or loot boxes.
It's human
People are going,
rights.
oi,
Yeah, it's
none of this
human
is
rights,
okay.
basically. Human rights and like working rights, basically.
Yeah. Sorry, keyboard. Go ahead.
I'd buy this for $1.
You can only, people, I'll say, you can only treat someone so bad until they start pushing back. And we are seeing that in the industry of, okay, this is not a good company. Everybody stay away.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft is suffering majorly because of that and are forcing in real change.
Yep. They're bleeding talent, especially at Ubisoft Toronto, and Quantic Dream even is like they're trying to get a Star Wars game off the ground, and no one wants to work for them.
Quantic
So it's a
Dream
lot.
is that
That's Detroit Become Human, Beyond Two
yeah, yeah,
Souls,
yeah.
Heavy Rain. Yeah.
Which are all fantastic games, but at the same time, yeah, understandable.
Yep. Yep.
One thing I also think, like Activision, obviously, that company is also like included with Blizzard, so they're on the same boat. And I think many projects that they were working on got either shelved or just on hiatus until something happens. I don't know. I don't know how their situation is looking like right now, but I don't think it's that good because shit's just not looking good for that company whatsoever.
Yep. But
Microsoft, sorry, you go.
I was just gonna say, but like the thing that I think is the silver lining is that like those people like the good people at Blizzard who are like, I'm not going to stand for this anymore. Because like the people who are abused very often leave the industry altogether. It's a known, documented thing. I mean, they're traumatized, right? They
Yeah.
don't want to be part of this shit anymore. But the people who are with them and are like, no, we're with you. We're calling this shit out. They often leave and start their own fucking studios, and that's like, here's the thing of the games industry: don't follow studios, follow people. Follow the people who make your favorite games, because studios, they're just a name. Like id is not the same id as the 90s. It's a completely different company. But if you follow the people who made Doom, made Quake, made, Duke 3D or whatever, you're going to have a better relationship with the games industry, I think. And in all industries, movie industries, authors, book authors,
Yeah.
And by doing that, you're also giving them a lot of power, because then they can go into offices and say, no, like, we can sell this project on my name, and also I'm going to call the shots on
That's true.
pay
Yeah.
schemes and healthcare and shit like that, and how my employees get treated.
I think it's better to like give power to the individuals
Mm-hmm.
instead of the company, because the
Yep.
company is just a bunch of like um, dudes on suits
Yeah.
telling people to do shit, while the real passion is behind the directors, the
Yeah.
producers, and everyone that works on the games themselves.
The people in the
Like,
trenches. Yeah.
yeah, like you won't give credit to ID Software
Mm-hmm.
for making Doom. You're gonna give that to John Carmack, John Romero,
Yep.
Tom Hall, those people.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why when I talk about DNF, I always talk about like Charlie Wiederhold, talk about Matt Wood, I talk about Lee Jackson,
Level
um,
War.
yeah, Level Lord, Paul Richards, the individuals who really worked on this game. Mr. President, Abduction, fantastic game. Yeah, Abduction is a really fantastic game. You're right.
I can
Um,
actually speak about that further because I've said this to many of the teammates in uh, my what do you call it, members of my team,
yeah,
that if this project fails, it's because of me. If this project succeeds, it's because of everyone.
fuck yeah, that's awesome.
That's based.
Because in the end, it's the leaders who take the blame,
Mm-hmm.
but it is the army that takes the victory.
Absolutely.
I applaud you, honestly. It was pretty fucking good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyway, so Otacon, what you doing in Dick Nukem Forever?
Yeah, I am setting up the difficulty.
All right, right on.
So
Whoa, awkward silence for a minute there. Got a little
yeah.
bit too emotional. Shit. I got balls of steel, etc.
Will the difficulty like increase enemies based on it, or is it just
Yep.
modifying damage values?
It'll increase. It'll be an increase of enemies.
That's,
It's actually
that's
what I'm
alright.
setting
pretty
up right
tight.
now.
Yeah.
So
Wait.
right now the sequence, if you're playing on hard, it spawns 7 enemies. If you're playing on normal, it's going to spawn these enemies, and then if you're playing on easy, it's just going to spawn 3 of those enemies.
The evil bastard with him, he still wants there to be at least one Terminator that goes through the glass window. The rooftop, just rappel down. Hi, you son of a bitch. You want a difficulty? Here I am.
Like, is the
Surprise.
difficulty levels like different? Like, do they matter on the league? Like,
They
did
are
they
disabled
program?
in the league.
And
Oh,
the leaks are disabled. In Bikini Atoll, they change, I think, health and damage values.
oh, I
Oh,
see.
actually, I don't believe they do. Other than existing right now, I don't think in the Bikini Atoll build they have a
Because
difference.
because I swear, playing on Let's Rock was more easy than like whatever the fuck the default difficulty and
Hmm. I
I
could be
always
BF.
play
mistaken. I
like I
haven't
always put it
actually.
on Come Get Some, and I always thought that actually mattered, but I guess not. I'm just
It might. I don't know. I guess I didn't actually like program it back in. I just utilize it. So
Mm.
Are we doing damn? I'm good as well.
so yeah, that was something we talked about earlier in the stream. Basically, we're not too sure what exactly we're going to do with Damn I'm Good yet. Because a common sentiment across the team, and I think across a lot of people like we talk to, is that just respawning enemies after you kill them is not fun.
true.
Can verify it. Blue and Duke 3D.
Right. So we want to do something a little different. We just haven't quite nailed down what that is.
Yeah.
It might be
One hit kill.
another difficulty. It might be like another game mode or something like that. We might use it to incorporate instead. So, okay, difficulties are set up there. Rebuild all that.
Also, please don't have it be Doom 3 nightmare difficulty.
Oh, with your ego constantly ticking down.
Oh, screw
Yeah,
that. That
it
doesn't
was
sound fun at all.
Yeah, that
like
sounds like a nightmare.
25%.
Especially because, as we were talking about earlier, like Duke is a glass cannon, right?
Yeah. I mean, so is Doom Guy. To be fair.
True.
I feel like in Doom 3, you had you
I guess
did more
not as much as
damage.
Doom 3.
Yeah. Or wait, no, because wasn't like the armor like value all fucked up in Doom 3? I forget. I remember there were times
Yeah.
where like in Doom 3 you could have like still have 60 armor but 0 health, which is like made no fucking sense.
Dude, that's just me playing regular Doom Classic.
Okay, so that's some good updates to study. You got the different difficulties in there. We showed off the stay tuned working. God, that still makes me so happy. You guys have no idea.
Going back to the whole Doom 3 difficulty thing, Doom Guy was a glass cannon, and he also didn't have to walk into a room where you could have enemies on both sides.
God, Doom 3 is so clunky.
Like Doom 3.
I still want to play that game though. Like I've played all Doom games up to like Doom 64. I'm just waiting for my new computer to come out so that I can play Doom 3.
Doom 3 actually got an update from Bethesda recently.
Yeah, it was a store update where basically if they combined all the versions into one, so like you can no longer buy Doom 3 and Doom 3 BFG edition separately, but that doesn't mean you can only play BFG edition or only the original. You buy them all.
That's the
When
thing
which is
I've
awesome.
always
Yeah.
that's the thing I've always got confused about. Which version is the best one? Because I know that the original Doom 3 was like pretty unbalanced and shitty
Yeah, so
or something like
it
that.
kind of depends. So, like,
Yeah.
personally, the original Doom 3 is very, it's scarier. Like, they made
Yeah.
changes to Doom 3 to where, like, in the original game, you had to choose between having your flashlight out or having, or crawling, crawling through the darkness with your gun out.
Yeah.
I think
Which
it was
quickly-
attached to one of the guns, but now it's just, like, attached to, like, a lapel on your shoulder.
Yeah. I want to quickly interrupt for a moment because I
Sure.
recently realized something.
Yeah.
The switching between gun and flashlight, they were really inspired by Looking Glass games, right? When they were making that. And I wonder if that was a deliberate callback to the way that it worked in System Shock 1, where you had to choose between when you're in your UI, like moving the cursor around, or you're moving your weapon around. And I wonder, I'd love to ask someone who, you know what? I might reach out to. Once again, I'm going to ask an old developer about a game they made like more than 10 years ago. That's what I do.
For me personally, I play BFG edition, but not for the reasons you might think.
Just for like the improvements graphically and like the game feel and stuff like that.
Controller.
Yep, that's fair.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I have I have what do you call it? I have a thumb and a ring finger. that are permanently damaged.
Oh,
Gotcha.
geez.
They have there's arthritis in 2 joints in my right hand, and using a mouse over time becomes painful.
Fair.
So I stick with a controller because I don't like associating pain with gaming.
Yeah, I can get
Yeah,
behind that, man.
totally. No,
Yeah,
that's
I hope I
nice.
never I hope I never have. Oh, sorry. I hope I never get anything like that because like I cannot fathom playing an FPS with a controller. I cannot.
It's not
I
that
was
bad.
No, you get used to it.
yeah
Honest to God,
sure.
here's like the fucking nuclear take of the century. The best
Oh
FPS
boy.
controller is the Nintendo 64 controller.
Ooh,
That's a really hot take. I'm
That
burning
is
right
a really
now.
hot take, yeah.
I'm being scorched by that take.
I like. I don't know
Like
why. I have like a specific affinity for using the uh camera control buttons and then the joystick.
I cannot even imagine a human being using that controller for anything, let alone playing a fucking FPS game. But sure.
That take is so high. I need to add it to my hot sauce later.
Whew.
Snap, this is going to my hot take compilation.
And like the stick in the middle, like with the trigger on the back of it, it feels almost like a real gun.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, that part is fair. I
It's like an
do
Sure.
added
like that
level of
feel.
immersion.
And I think really we didn't get anything that felt like that. Like I don't know. I think the original Xbox, the way the Xbox designed their triggers are really nice, and they kind of emulate that kind of feel too. And then it really
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
that's
I
true.
really like the PlayStation 4 triggers. They're just a little smaller, but they still have that like lip. So
Hmm.
I totally feel it.
I also can't really say much about like modern consoles because ever since like 2014, I became a sole PC gamer girl. Although I do have a Switch, but that's besides the point.
I have a Switch Lite.
Yeah, me
Thank you for
too.
putting it that way. That's fun.
My all-time favorite controller is the GameCube controller.
Why's
And
that?
that why?
Okay, ignoring the fact that it was a childhood controller of mine,
Hmm.
Sure.
so there
That's
is some
fair.
bias. I will admit that. At the same time, though, even modernly, you put it in my hands, it still melts into them.
Yeah.
The actual feeling of the controller is for me the best in terms of ergonomics, and the triggers are beautiful.
Oh yeah, those are some nice
Yeah.
triggers.
Those triggers are really, really nice.
You know what? I take back my hot take. My favorite controller has to be the Xbox 360 controller.
I mean
Oh, that's
that's the de
just
facto controller, right?
that's a
Yeah.
universal fact. That
Yeah.
control is just great, except the directional like keys.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that thing sucks cock. But the thumbsticks, oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah, they were pretty fucking good. And the triggers,
Triggers. Yep.
the fucking triggers. Holy shit.
Bumpers.
Ooh. Like I had the Duke Nukem 3D arcade demo, and that controls like butter. It is so smooth and it's so much fun to play, even just the first two levels.
I can't
I've
really
never
say
actually.
much because I have a really fun nostalgia for like the PS2 controller, the DualShock 2, because I grew up with PS2,
Yeah.
but that controller kind of sucks, honestly. So
It hasn't aged well.
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
I can.
future DualShocks are much better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
it
have.
feels really stiff when you try to play. Like, I still use a lot, do PS2 emulation a lot, and I still like use my actual PlayStation 2 a decent amount. And yeah, things like first-person shooters and like anything where you have to like trying to play Kingsfield or something like that, it's just so clunky, so
Yeah.
yeah,
I
and
have. I've
inaccurate.
developed a solution for that. Actually,
What's that?
uh, I've actually fully developed a solution for that.
Oh,
Mm.
Um, I have a Brooks PS4 to PS2 controller adapter,
Ooh,
and then I have a Astro 40 TR controller,
nice.
whi- which is their premium edition controller that allows you to switch D-pad and analog stick around.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Would you run
So,
into trouble with pressure-sensitive games?
in theory, yes. In practice, no.
Okay, so you could play MGS2 that way and it'd be totally fine.
I don't see much of an issue, and if there
Okay,
is, I usually swap back.
Well,
But
yeah, the
but
only reason he says that is because, yeah, in like Metal Gear Solid 2, it uses the pressure-sensitive controllers to where, like,
yeah,
if you're just holding circle lightly, it pulls the gun and lets you look, holds the gun up in first person, and then actually, like, compressing it is what makes you fire.
yeah.
So otherwise, it's what it's. So otherwise, you would end up in these situations where you would just like be firing all the time instead of being able to like actually aim the gun.
Which, when you play on the PC version, happened all the time.
I
Played
don't
that on the
personally own
keyboard
that
only.
game, so I can't verify. Oh wait, no, wait. Which version of Metal Gear Solid is it?
Two,
It'd probably
three,
be, yeah,
4.
I
substance or subsistence, doesn't matter.
I asked because I have the Xbox version of Metal Gear Solid 3. So
Oh, that would be different then, because the
Yeah,
Xbox.
took that
Yep,
out.
yep. Because the Xbox, because the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3 are the only ones with pressure-sensitive controllers. I don't know if the
Ooh,
PlayStation 4 uses it still.
no,
maybe the 3 has pressure sensitive. Let me check that.
no,
I
it
want
doesn't.
this event to unlock these doors, not throw them open.
Okay, L2 and R2 are pressure sensitive on DualShock 4.
Well, that makes sense, yeah.
So I
It's the
wonder if you
triggers.
could like map something weird in like PCSX2 or something.
Hmm. I do know that. Oh, never mind. Sorry. I guess this is okay this way.
What are we looking at here?
Well, so what I did is now. So. If you come here, started. I made it so it
Oh,
unlocks
what a
it.
reception.
It opens up these doors,
Oh,
so you can
okay.
actually, so you can get back here if you want it. Oh yeah, that's also something fun that I just implemented in my last update to this map. So now, so there's this. I guess this is a good place to go over it as any, huh? So now the player has multiple different ways to get through this first level. This first level is supposed to be kind of an introductory to the player to like the world and like Duke Nukem again and a little bit of exploration and not combat just yet. So we've got Paige. He slowly directs you to where you're supposed to be going, and then there's also all kinds of other stuff to explore. Right, so we'll let him do his thing. And so you've got like rooms you can explore. Where he's just got just
You
little
guys,
like statements he says, and then you've also got event system that we put into place, which you can see part of it there, and then like this is just a janitor closet, but it also leads to this, so you can just completely circumvent, and you can now kick it also. You can no longer do any combat inside the main level, but you need
Interesting.
to be able to kick out vents and stuff like that, so you can kick when you're in the
Right.
vents. And so if the player, this is your third time playing through, fifth time playing through, whatever, and you don't want to sit through the minute and a half interview, you can just skip through the vents.
You could just leave.
You could just leave. And in fact, if we go over here, the attack still happens on the Lady Killer, and we still get the objective to just get to our study, right? So, and the other thing is now too is that you can't actually enter the stuff. You can't actually enter the set because this would also be accessible in theory, right? And then the other thing is that you actually can no longer do this stuff either. Oh, I stand corrected. Oh, this is disabled though.
Okay.
Which that is the other thing I was going to show off. Yeah, I think I didn't make it disable that because the player can't get back into there anyways. So
Yeah, not really a point.
so if the player goes through all of it, oh yeah, I also added these little things here. Somebody made the file, and then I laid them over this. So now there's little test bars over the computers or the screens. But if the player sits down and starts the interview, you can now interrupt Jay in the middle of the interview, and the attack still happens, and you get the objective still. And it destroys this trigger event and the other trigger event, so they don't happen anymore.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
Can I walk in front of the page without it like making it so I can't get through the door?
It's a real honor meeting you like this, Mr. Newcomb. I'm a huge fan.
Like that was the thing in the original leak where you had to follow the page and he would open one of the doors for you.
Yes.
Yeah, he still does that, but you can't interrupt him anymore. He just goes
All right.
back to walking.
Are those movie posters from was it PS1 port?
What, these?
Yeah. Or are these all new?
I think these are new.
Okay.
I'll have to ask the dev that passed them off to me.
That's new, I think.
I
This was
personally
in
hope
the
that they I personally hope the new
See,
musician you guys got.
Well, you can't kick. You can kick. You can't kick. That way you still can't kill any NPCs here.
Makes sense.
Oh. Ha ha ha. I jumped over the trigger. That's funny. Testing, people. This is it. This is the butter. I guess I'm gonna have to make that bigger. What were you asking though? I'm sorry.
I'm personally curious to see what the new grab bag theme is going to sound like.
Oh hell yeah!
Because believe it or not, the '98 theme isn't my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
This is going to be controversial. It's the Letterman remake. Letterman remix.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually had that as my phone ringtone for a while.
Nice.
Sounds really nice, really snazzy.
And your guys' trailer grab bag theme from Lee Jackson almost eclipsed it.
Yeah, I'm really
Almost.
hoping he still finishes that up. Last I chatted with him about it, he was like working on making a final version of it, like a complete version of it.
That's awesome.
So that would be pretty
Say
sweet.
before I say it again, it sounded like nuclear fire to my ears.
Let's see here.
But I will let you, gentlemen, be.
Oh, you're hopping off?
Sadly, my work is calling me now.
Fair enough.
It
was
good
nice
having
having
you.
you. Yeah.
Thank you. You guys have a wonderful rest of the whatever the time zone you are in now.
Thank you.
Have a good time zone.
Indeed. Cheers.
Keep it easy, man.
See ya.
Okay, so this is proving to be actually tricky. No.
You mean game development isn't easy? Weird.
Yeah. All
I
right.
thought people
So
on the internet told me.
yeah, I know they tell you a lot of things. I don't think those collision boxes are inside of each other. I think they're just barely outside. I'll hug this to the wall a little more just in case, or rebuild this and try that again. This is the only spot where you could actually kick somebody or like take somebody out. So Oh, actually, I say that, but I think of one other spot immediately. Okay, so I can still kick here. Whoop! I landed on top of something.
Whoop!
Here, follow me. I'll guide you to the studio. That's the green room. Basically a break room.
Hmm. Now I've done it. Hmm. This was so consistent before. What is happening? I mean, you still can't kill anybody even if you like could get out. But
Yeah.
what's going on? Dude, I've tested this a bunch, and now it's just
Bring it back
why?
for a moment and it breaks again.
I wonder if it's because they are technically like within each other or something like that, and so like you're never actually cleanly going from one to the other.
Would make sense.
So what if I like stick this on the wall halfway? Because the player just needs to be right up against the vent, basically.
That's the green room. It's basically a break room.
Hmm. Interesting. It's not super consistent, which doesn't help either.
Nope. Like, what the hell's causing it, right?
Well, to be honest, it is like 10 o'clock my time, anyways, and I've still got to do dinner and stuff like that. So,
Oh yeah, I was just about to dip out. So nice talking to everyone. I'll see you guys later.
yeah,
Yeah.
keep it easy. Um, um,
You too.
so yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. We got quite a bit done today, honestly. We completely built the difficulty settings for rooftop, and we completely built the difficulty setting for study, and we get to check out that completed stay tuned bump, which was fun. And
Oh,
then we
yeah.
just did like some last touch ups here. but yeah. So honestly, Abomination, thank you for joining and helping keeping conversation along, and
Yeah, of course.
of course,
Love
thank
doing
you
this.
to everybody else who popped in to chat and ask questions and added to the conversation as well.
For sure. Before we wrap up, real quick, I
Yeah,
wanted to say,
absolutely.
related to what we were talking about earlier with regards to like the working conditions in the industry and things like that. Mr. President said, who is the programming lead in the project, says, "That's why, as programming lead, I take full responsibility of the broken shit. Did I break it? No, but I'm responsible for making it right." And I just want to give a special shout out to that because that's a really awesome thing to say in general, just like taking that kind of responsibility. And yeah, just that's awesome.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think you'll find a lot of that sentiment, you know what I mean? Like uh one of the things we always talked about as we interview people for their positions, and as I was interviewed for my position as level design lead and stuff like that, is that you were the final say on the stuff that goes on in your department, which ultimately leads you accountable for the things that go on. You know what I mean? So like, you know, um, yeah, I think you'll find that the sentiment that if something is broken, it's on us to make sure that it gets resolved.
For
And
sure.
even here, like the very beginning of this level, I didn't say when we were working on this level, I didn't say anything about it initially, but there was like a little room off to the side here that didn't really serve any purpose. That was like a leftover from something really early on in the level,
Mhm.
and so it was like we actually had a conversation about that on the dev server today, and it was just like, yep, no problem. Next time I'm in the map, we'll just clean it up. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing, kind of like you know, we always got to be like reeling in cool ideas sometimes, but other times you find another way to sneak them in and stuff like that. But yeah,
Absolutely. Yep.
staying on top of and taking accountability for what
Yeah.
goes on. Yeah, it's definitely appreciated to hear it, and yeah, like I said, I think you'll find a lot of that throughout our leadership.
Yeah. And that attitude is what's going to get this project done, no matter how long it takes. That's what I think, at least.
Yeah, and honestly, the passion really too. Like I feel
Yeah.
like
Totally.
as if you hang out in the Discord server and chat with some of our devs and chat with some of the other folks here, everybody's like really passionate about it. So I mean, honestly, I think even if
Absolutely.
we ended up cutting down to like a even if our primary dev base was only like 10 or 20 people, I think you'd still find 10 or 20 smiling people working through and really trying to drive this home.
Fucking absolutely. Yeah.
Somebody was asking something in the server, I think, last night, and my response was always bet on Duke. We're here for Duke and Duke alone.
Hell
The
yeah.
driving factor is Duke. Duke is going to
Yep.
get this project finished, and yeah.
We're going to do them right. We're going to do
Yeah.
them right.
But yeah,
All right.
thank you for that. And yeah, again, thank you everybody for tuning in and joining for chat and stuff like that.
Yeah. And check out the ATOL test if you haven't yet.
Yeah,
It's a really great foundation. If you have problems, let us know. And yeah, well, that's how we're going to make this game even better.
yep. And I will make sure that the ModDB link and the link directly to that file, the beginning of the whole test, is available through the description of this YouTube video.
Oh yeah. All right. You
Keep it
take it
easy,
easy,
guys.
Otacon.
You too, bud.
See you, man.